Well, hi once again all my loyal YouTubers, and thanks once more for giving up your very valuable time to check out more vintage motocrossers from my classic dirt bike TV channel. Now in this featured video we're going to browse over another very unique motorcycle, and one that is extremely rare in that it is the only one of its kind. So stay with me for the next few minutes as we look at Alan Arnott's ESO 600 Special. Now, ever since Alan saw pictures of Bill Nielsen's beautiful Matisse ESO some years ago, Alan knew he just had to have one. Although Alan, being a very talented motorcycle engineer in his own right, decided that as soon as he got all the parts together, he was going to build one of his own. And what you see here is the end result. Now, starting with the frame, which is a purpose-built chassis by Alan himself, and the geometry is based around the early pre-1965 duplex-framed Victors, and this frame is all built with high-quality T45 tubing. Now, these few pictures and video clips were snapped at the 2016 Classic Motocross the Nations event, which was held at Ballyblack Road in Northern Ireland. But this is a very unique motorcycle indeed, and is built to a very high quality engineered finish. Now, Alan has done some very intricate engineering on this motor, and I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to explain it all because it's very detailed and quite complex. But basically the motor is an ESO engine that has been bored and stroked to 598cc with a 92mm bore and a 90mm stroke. Now, the engine uses a special Cosworth G50 piston with a Carrillo conrod and Jawa flywheels. But this is only part of the unique engineering that's gone into this fantastic looking motorcycle. Now, the inlet port has been lengthened and the valve diameter increased to reflect the increased capacity and improve the torque delivery of this big single cylinder motor. Now, the engine has also been set up to run on methanol and not regular gas. Now, this little blue button you can see on the cylinder is a decompressor valve, which has been actually taken from a chainsaw of all things. Now, Alan said that speedway cams are also used on this motor, and it also has twin spark ignition, which is provided by an Interspan total loss system. Now, the magneto for the sparks is also at the rear of the cylinder, where it's driven by the inlet cam gear. Now, the gearbox is a 4-speed crossover unit, which is part of the crankcases and is lubricated by splash from the crankshaft. And in this particular shot you can see the extension that was built on to the inlet manifold to house that AML concentric carburetor. Now, the primary drive being by gears means that the motor spins backwards, and to address some of the lubrication issues, the rotating plunger pump has been replaced with two matchless G50 pumps. Now, these front forks are a pair of early pattern Italian Serianis, which have had, of course, some internal upgrades, and they're also fitted with this brace that also acts as the mudguard stay. Now both the front and the rear brake hubs are your classic CZ brake hubs, of course, and these are very popular fitments on many of these bespoke classic racers. But Alan has chosen these CZ hubs because these are well proven and they have some decent stopping power for these old classic racers. But between the Seriani forks and these CZ hubs, the front end of Alan's bike is pretty sure and steadfast on the track. Now the rear shocks on Alan's machine are actually a combination of Öhlins dampers and these Dutch-made Riger springs. Now this setup is designed to meet the ECMO rules for Europe because this bike is going to be used mainly outside the UK. Now the engineering that has gone into building this machine is second to none, and if you know the kind of bikes that Alan normally turns out, you will know that his machines are of a very high quality. Once again, you can see the CZ rear hub here with all the very intricate braking devices that Alan had to fit on his machine. A cable operated rear brake, of course, with that very nice stainless steel torque brake arm at the bottom. Now when it came to this very nice fuel tank, no information was actually available about the tank, although it does look like it's from an old BSA or maybe something similar. And after Alan has had it painted in his own colours and added his personal logo, it certainly looks the goods on this lovely ESO machine. Now naturally the quality continues on Alan's machine with these Magura levers and their covers. Nothing but the best, of course, for this very special machine. Now the big bore exhaust system on Alan's engine has been very tidily tucked along the right hand side of the motor. Now as you would expect, there is a very nice tune played by that big 600cc ESO engine, and we will shortly be able to get an opportunity to hear this engine fire up in the next couple of minutes. But Alan has opted to go for a matte black colour on his exhaust system rather than the conventional chrome coating. Now soon after Alan had completed the bike, it was on display at the Telford Classic Dirt Bike Show, where his bike building engineering skills were rewarded with an award at the show for this beautiful machine. Nevertheless, as all classic scramblers go, this lovely bike of Alan's is right up there with what a vintage race bike should look like. A good frame, a stonking 4-stroke motor, and of course lots of shiny chrome and alloy. And Alan's machine certainly ticks every one of these boxes. But of course this is a one-off machine. There are certainly no other 600cc ESOs like Alan's. This is a very unique bike. Okay, we've had a quick tour of the machine and we've talked a bit about the engineering that's gone into this wonderful bike. Let's just head over to Alan and we'll get him to fire up the bike, and let's just all have a listen to what she sounds like. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this very brief look at Alan Arnott's 600cc ESO. Now, I've only covered one or two of the very intricate pieces of engineering Alan has done on this bike, and if you'd like to know more behind the build of this machine, then pick up a back issue of Classic Dirt Bike magazine, issue 40, to read about just how Alan put this whole bike together. So lots more classic dirt bikes to come here on my channel, so please continue to subscribe if you'd like to see more of these old classic vintage race bikes. This video was brought to you in association with WorldSport, the world's #1 supplier for all your off-road and leisure sportswear. Just visit their online website for more information.